me, I'll be on my mission. Catch me, candid for these lenses. Catch me, one day whipping in these Benzes. Catch me, catch me, catch me. Catch me, like we playing on. Roll one, hey, you gon' sing along, hey. Sip some, hey, you gon' get your dance on. Catch me, catch me, catch me, yeah. Drowning in ambition now. Turning all these tables now.
What's up, everyone? I go by the name of Gigi aka Gushan Javanche, and welcome back to another episode of Couch Creatives. Now, on today's show, I have with me the one and only, ever so talented Miss Morena. How are you?
I'm good, sis.
You look absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, who are you dressed by?
Thank you very much. So I'm dressed by Fashion Gods, Fawak Bolo, a very young, talented designer, and that's what I'm dripped in. I actually got a new range out called the Glossy range, and it's just usually all of his pieces because of the exclusivity of it, the exclusive pieces. So this is the first range of it, and Miss Morena is dripped in it, so that's lovely.
Are you working with him? Is it a collaboration? Are you his?
It's a collaboration.
Oh wow, okay. And first of all, the people who don't know, who is Miss Morena? Like, where do you come from? Your upbringing, background? Tell us about that.
All right, just to get into it. So my birth names are Samantha Olwetu Sibongile Bekebeke. I'm a small town girl that grew up in Uppington, a small town. Grew up in Kimberley, the city, and I moved to Cape Town about a decade ago to start off with my studies. And that just basically ushered in the whole music thing. But in general, Miss Morena, just the idea of it is an exemplification of my higher self. So I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm a mother. So I had to set up who I want to be and who I want to become in its highest form of self, which I do communicate a lot in my music. It's based around inspiration, motivation. So that is just the exemplification of what and who Miss Morena is. But myself, I'm just a small town young girl, you know, just trying to navigate through business life.
Just trying to be successful.
You
spoke about you coming to Cape Town and ushering into the music industry. At what point did you know that you want to take music seriously? At what point did you feel like this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to push it with everything that I have in me?
Dev, so I'm a journalist by profession.
Oh wow.
I worked in the corporate environment. I've navigated through the corporate environment, and that is basically also what I studied. It's my passion. Before music itself and the making of music, I started off with poetry and writing, the art of storytelling. Just to move back in terms of music, so I grew up in a music-orientated family. My mother was in love with music and was always collecting records, you know. So, but it was never hip-hop. Hip-hop is something that I basically chose for myself. You could maybe assume it was a rebellious act or something like that, because I was brought around the soulful sounds of jazz, OJs, Maria Makeba, like those soulful R&B type 80s, 90s music. And then with hip-hop and rap is something I navigated into myself. And funny enough, like it started off with local artists, Tux, Mandoza, Zola 7. That's like how that inspired me in terms of rap music, because I was very interested in the way that they were telling their music so I just listening to Zola 7, I knew the hardships of a young black hustling man in South Africa, you know, and so I'm like, oh, this is how people tell their stories, you know. And I've always loved R&B and the soulful music, but the storytelling was something that I was interested in. When I came to Cape Town is a very cultural place, very in depth in terms of its culture. No different from Kimberley, Uppington, where I'm from, very cultural, but there aren't many institutions or groups. You can't necessarily navigate your way through the artistic, cultural way in Uppington, because that's how small towns function. So obviously Cape Town is, and you know, so that's when I knew about hip hop societies, learned about ciphering, learned about how I could kill niggas in a cipher, you know what I mean, and all that. So it was something that I was interested in, but not necessarily navigating towards. Towards the end and middle of my studies, I met who is currently the love of my life, my partner, who at that moment, you know, we're just sharing, we're just taking the vibe out, you know, getting to know different places that throughout my studies I never even went to go see. Because when you in varsity, you in your own little bubble, especially in Cape Town, so you don't get to see Kailicha, Langa, all these, you don't get to move out. And so when I finished my studies, a bit of a weight was lifted off of me, so I got a chance to explore all of these different places. And with that, I got to see the industry. I got to get introduced. Okay, these are the musicians in Langa. Okay, this is what they are doing. This is who they are. And this was also inspired by my my management and my partner, who is basically the plug of all of the music and everything that I know. So like, because I would be in my bubble of music, and the people that I consider relevant in terms of my music space and not necessarily explore, but with the inspiration of the people that are around me, with Ishmael, be like, check out this person, check out this person. You know, you get to know and navigate through the music industry. And I released my first tape a few years later, 4 years later to be exact, from the time I started exploring. And it was released this year, 2021.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's basically just a summary of the navigating through the entertainment industry.
Now, being a woman in the industry, and specifically the hip-hop rap industry, would you say it's now easier for you women to come out and rap and be against, you know, the big top dogs? Or would you say it's still kind of hard for you guys to break through? Are other artists supporting you guys as women?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy in terms of that. Just the existence of being a woman and being a black woman, you know, the system is already placed red tape in front of you to make anything difficult, whether it's in a corporate space, whether it's in school. If you were a child in creche, because you're a girl, you know, so it's always been something different to navigate through, because the system wants to silence women, especially loud women that will speak against the atrocities of what we're facing, which is what I believe I'm doing in my music. Would I say it's necessarily easier? We have seen the breakthrough of amazing women in hip hop since the 90s, since Little Kim, since the Boom Shaka group, since you know, so we've seen the growth in terms of women really breaking those particular narratives, whether it is Lauryn Hill, we've seen it. It doesn't necessarily become easier, but we are seeing that they are there, we are visible, and we are making a noise, and we have intentions to infiltrate a male-dominated space, whether it's in sport, in our workplaces, or whatnot. Yeah. And
your music is said to be fusing lyrical prowess with funky melody. How would you describe your music that you make?
How would I describe my music? I believe that I have a musical ear. So there's different components in terms of to make music sonic, to make it nice to listen to. I don't want to listen to a song and feel like yo, I can't get my time back. My 4 minutes, my 3 minutes. You know, you don't want to feel like you just lost something, or you just listen to a bunch of nothing. I feel like when you listen to my music, it will awaken something inside of you. My music is very intentional. There's intention behind even the people that I make music with, the collaborations that I make music with. I figure that the energy that I bring forth inspires people to be true. So it's always like, so the way that I would describe my music, it's definitely motivational, and it's definitely like that yummy nutrition that we all need to live longer.
And speaking of collaborations, who would you want to collaborate with? Who are some of the artists that you really look for? If you really could have them on a song, who would it be?
Wow. No one has actually ever asked me that before.
Really?
There's so much good music and so much good artists out there that I haven't even heard of, you know, haven't even had a chance to explore. But anyone that has a message and intention is generally someone that I would be excited to create with, to make an art piece with, especially something as beautiful as music. The artist, I don't know, the artist that I currently and always have been inspired by, or basically salute, show respect to, is definitely the likes of Rhapsody, definitely the likes of Kendrick, definitely the likes of, we could go on and on and on. Most of them are deceased, but I don't know, in South Africa, KO is an absolutely amazing musician, and you can see the brilliance of particular artists through literally the journey that they went through. You can see that there's growth with KO in particular. If you look at from Cash Time, you can see sonically the way it's grown. There's intention in the music. So any artist that has intention in their music is definitely someone that I would be interested in collaborating. Would want to open up for me? Yeah, like I'm
want someone to open up for you?
I want to sit down and be like, let's look at all of these influential, beautiful artists. Let's see who can open up for Miss Morena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And speaking of, you actually have a show next week that you're launching your EP. Tell us about that.
So that's the EP that I just told you about. It's called 2021, the mixtape. It's available on all platforms. It's a 14-track mixtape. Some beautiful, beautiful anthems in there, and we are launching the tape. It's going to be a listening session and also some live performances from some of the artists that are featured on the tape, and it's amazing artists that collaborated with me on that mixtape on the 3rd of September, this coming Friday in Woodstock, the cultural playground of Cape Town at the moment. Very excited about that. Yeah, also very excited about the artists that will be performing.
That will be there.
Yeah.
So everyone, you heard that. You guys should be there next week, Friday, 3rd of September. An EP is being launched. Be there or be told, okay? And also, what would you say is the highlight of your career thus far? Throughout your whole journey in the music industry, what would be your ultimate highlights?
I think it would definitely be the day that I realized the impact that I had. It was something that was hard to fathom and understand at that point, which actually that day I remember where I was. I don't necessarily remember the year or whatnot, but it was many years ago, and I was delivering a poem piece, and people just started crying. They were shedding because of the impact that my music had, and I realized from there onwards the responsibility that I have towards this craft. I can't just be doing and saying anything, and with rap it's almost like it's an art that you basically do and say anything you want. The crazier your affirmations are, the crazier you are, but knowing the impact. This happened, I think, 4 years ago, when I decided to go onto this path with my partner and just move on and take it seriously. It was the day that I realized, there's some impact in this. It's not plain tunes.
Music is really therapeutic, and for some people it changes their whole entire life. Like, have you had people come to you and be like, your music changed my life? I thank you for that.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it really is.
And like it's and just basically, besides the music, it's just the conversations and the interactions that I have with people on a different, deeper level that can literally change lives. So the responsibility is immense in terms of my music. I try not to be shallow or run away from the responsibilities and the impact that my music has. So it's a bit of a strain on particular artists like myself. They would call it the conscious artist, because you now have to basically think before you do anything. And sometimes that thinking, because
now you're a public figure, people are watching what you do, watching what you say, so you really have to be careful in that sense. What else would you say if you weren't doing music? But I know you said you studied journalism. However, if you weren't doing music, would you be doing journalism? Would you be doing entrepreneurial stuff? What would you be doing?
So basically, what I am currently doing is my life is crazy. What I'm currently doing is a infusion of everything that I've ever wanted to be. It's crazy. Let me explain. So basically, when I was younger, I had an interest in psychology. I wanted to help people, make people feel better. Fine. I believe I do that through the music.
Yes.
Right. Entrepreneurship, definitely. I was like, I have to own things. It's so important for us. I saw the importance as a young child because I was raised by a single mother that is a hard-working woman. So I saw all of these, and I wanted to be like that. I wanted to own things. I wanted to be able to do things, and that really required a lot of work. So entrepreneurship was always, something that I had to go to if I wanted to have some power and control over whatever it is that I create, which is something that my partner and I are doing with Lifestyle Explore, which is our production house, which Miss Morena is signed under. And alongside Miss Morena is all different artists. I would love to mention them. Shout out to Inkosana, my brother, dope. The first music video that I released and collaboration I did was with him.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first time I entered officially into the music industry. It's called Feel Good. It's still my best song till this day. You guys should check it out. Where were we?
Entrepreneurship, owning your stuff.
Psychology. I wanted to be a doctor at some point. I wanted to heal people. I wanted to, but I can't stand blood. So I do that through my music.
Yeah.
Journalism, write stories. I didn't like the way I was writing stories. I can't mention the corporation that I worked for because it's a state-owned, enterprise. But I didn't like the way they were telling our stories. First of all, their stories aren't accurate. Their stories aren't for us. Their stories aren't helpful. I was like, this one is not for me. There's something here and then all of that, like my life ever since, it's just been going in those directions where we can be anything we want to be.
That's true.
Anything and everything.
No limits.
You can be anything you want to be. You don't need, there's no straight line in terms of life. You can reach out where your spirit ascends and where it can be useful and helpful. It must go and it must fly, it must be there. There's no rigid occupation that you must, have in life. And that's just something that people need to understand, internalize, and then be able to exemplify it in their daily lives.
That's true. What would you say is next for you? Besides the EP you're launching, after that, what's next?
We're on the road to Miss Morena being the biggest musician in the world.
Yes,
so the dopest rapper currently just told us that he's going to take off the hat. Kendrick is like, yeah, this is my final. So the torch is being passed on.
Needs to be passed on to you.
Yes.
All
to
right.
the queen. Yes.
So you're traveling. You're going to be doing shows.
With hopefully that is the plan. The plan is definitely to reach more people.
Okay.
Definitely all over the world. It's not Cape Town or Northern Cape or South Africa. No, it's first South Africa. That's like literally the spectrum of how we view it here at home. Okay, how do we take over here? Then we Southern Africa, then we move up, and then the whole of Africa needs to be here with whatever it is the vision is, because the vision for Lifestyle Explore, Miss Morena, myself, is unity. It's just empowering people, because I cannot be strong alone. I'm not going to change anything.
That's true.
So we need each other to be strong. That's like what we need, and that's basically the philosophy that I'm going through. But the next plan is to dominate the music industry and doing it in such a powerful and intentional way that it changes something. We don't know what yet, but something needs to change.
Something needs to change.
Something needs to change. What is it? Let's figure out. Let's find out.
For people who also want to be in the music industry, but let's say their families are always restricting them, what would you say to those people that are always afraid to step out? You said you're from a small town in Kimberley. For those people that feel like they can't make it in life, or they feel like their background restricts them, what would you say to those type of people?
So it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
We have to understand that people are naysayers and doubters because they have been affected by life to behave and think and believe that way.
Yes.
So their environment has affected them, and so now they utter those words to other people, and how we also internalize that is up to us. Our environment, our situations, nothing can control what and who we are besides ourselves and the choices that we make in terms of what we're confronted with. I would love for us to understand that a lot of black families, especially black parents, would be the reason why they were afraid of. I never had this dilemma. I was blessed. I'm thankful for my mom,
supportive.
who very, very, very supportive, who was I'm not the first graduate in my family. My mom is the first graduate in my family from UCT, one of the first black women to graduate at UCT, and have leadership positions over there. So, and while she was there, in order to just do what she needs to do, she was modeling.
Okay.
She was modeling on the side, she was hustling on the side. So I'm blessed in terms of having a parent or someone that raised me, that already gave me that guidance of, you have to find who you are and do what you love,
and
right?
what you want to do.
But I understand also the nerves that one would have in coming from a poor family. Already you have economic, social, cultural constraints already. And then your child says, I want to sing. You know, it's fear.
It is.
It's fear. That's all that it is. And we have to understand this. And there's ways that we must navigate through this fear. Our families don't understand why it's important to support young entrepreneurs in the family. We must explain and be very patient with people that don't understand, whether it's our family or each other, because we need each other. So it doesn't just matter. It's not just a thing of, I'm going to isolate you because you don't understand. And just, no, we need to explain, if I grow you, I grow too.
That's
and
true.
we must exemplify and show these things. That's the only way that we can learn. If it's learning for those that come after us or before us, but the only way that we can actually encourage change is for us to exemplify the change and show.
True.
But we don't want to do that. We want to harden our hearts. And we want to, everyone is against. No, we have to really understand that we are living and we have remnants of a social structure that was built to break us down. So let us also intentionally build each other up and build ourselves up and be understanding of our flaws and our shortcomings.
Jeez, I feel like that nearly, you touched you were so like, I saw it's like you nearly were crying just saying that, but that's very true.
It's love.
It's really love.
Yeah.
But to end off now, where do people find you? Social media handles, where can they find your music, all of that information?
All right, so the tape 2021, the mixtape is out on all music platforms. You can go on any music platform that you use. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram as Miss Morena Official. That is on all social media platforms. Check out especially on Instagram, because then you'll get updates of my shows and what I'm doing currently, and you'll be able to see where I'm at next. And definitely follow my production company, Lifestyle Explore. We're about to do some beautiful, beautiful things, and I think,
Well, you heard it from her. That is Miss Morena for you guys. Don't forget that she has an EP launching next week on the 3rd of September. Be there or be told. As well as you heard from her, where you can find her on all social media platforms, Miss Morena Official. But as for me, this is me signing out. Your girl Gigi Marafi, aka Gushen
Catch me,
Javante.
catch me.